welcome to Professor SNAB, where we make A-level biology as simple as a cell. So today we are understanding the roles of glycolysis in aerobic and anaerobic respiration, including phosphorylation of hexases, the production of ATP, reduced coenzyme, pyruvate, and lactate. Details of intermediate stages and compounds are not required, so we will not go through that. So glycolysis is the first stage of respiration, and it takes place in the cytoplasm, or in the case of muscle cells, it takes place in the sarcoplasm. This process takes place in all living cells and does not require oxygen. It is common to both aerobic and anaerobic respiration. This process breaks down one glucose molecule into two pyruvate molecules. So what you have in the last bullet point is the equation behind this process, and it's quite important to know as well. So before the breaking down of glucose, it must be activated. So two ATP molecules are hydrolyzed. This results in each ATP donating a phosphate group. Glucose becomes phosphorylated as a result. Glucose is phosphorylated as it makes glucose more reactive, and this also lowers the activation energy and allows subsequent reactions to occur and helps retain glucose within the cell. So during glycolysis, hydrogen atoms are removed from intermediates. This is an oxidation reaction. Hydrogen is accepted by NAD, resulting in reduced NAD. Reduced NAD is important as it carries hydrogen and electrons, used later in aerobic respiration, and contributes to ATP production through oxidative phosphorylation. And once again, at the bottom, you have the bullet point that shows the reduction of NAD. Energy released during glycolysis is used to make ATP. The phosphate groups are transferred directly from intermediates to ADP, and ATP is produced immediately. Electron transport chain is not involved at this stage. Table that keeps track of the different things involved in glycolysis right now, and it's quite good to know because it helps you keep track of things. So pyruvate, right now you have 2, reduced NAD, you have 2, ATP produced is 4, ATP used is 2. So that means the overall net ATP gain is 2 because 4 take away 2 is 2. Glycolysis happens in both aerobic and anaerobic respiration. However, it takes 2 different paths after glycolysis, depending on whether it's aerobic or anaerobic. So if glycolysis has taken place in an aerobic respiration, so after glycolysis has taken place, because glycolysis is the same for both, so that doesn't matter, but after glycolysis has taken place, pyruvate enters the mitochondria and undergoes the link reaction. It then enters the Krebs cycle and reduced NAD transfers electrons to the electron transport chain. The role of glycolysis really is to produce pyruvate for later stages, produce reduced NAD for oxidative phosphorylation, and also produce a small amount of ATP directly. So if you want a more detailed video on link reaction, Krebs cycle, it's already in topic 5, so do go back to that if you want to. Look at what happens after glycolysis in the case of it being an anaerobic respiration. So after glycolysis, electron transport chain stops and reduced NAD cannot be reoxidized. NAD becomes unavailable, so glycolysis will stop. So this highlights that pyruvate acts as a hydrogen acceptor. So in this case, in the case of it being an anaerobic respiration, the pyruvate and the reduced NAD join to form, have a chemical reaction to form lactate and NAD. Look at the formation of lactate. So lactate is important as it helps regenerate NAD. This allows glycolysis to continue and maintain ATP production without oxygen. And this is really crucial during intense exercises such as sprints. However, it is still limiting as it only produces 2 ATP per glucose molecule. And however, lactate accumulation does have side effects and consequences such as reduced pH, enzyme inhibition, and muscle fatigue. That's a snap today. Hope you found this video useful. If you have any questions, let me know in the comments below and I'll get back to them as soon as possible. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe.